Greetings, people. It's Sunday, the 27th, is it? Yeah, November 27th. I think this is Jimi Hendrix's birthday. Feeling a little bit fat here after the Thanksgiving. Yesterday I had friends bring me food, and boy did they load me up. Feeling it this morning, you know. I love some pumpkin pie. I love the sides more than the main meat dishes. I think a lot of people are like that. It's the sides, you know. It's the pie. It's the mac and cheese. You know, it's the greens. So, hope everyone's doing well. Hey, family. I always think of you, Stephanie, when I make these videos because I know you watch regularly. So I want to talk about Martin. If you see this, I have more reviews to do for the things that you sent me, but not today. I want to I may talk about a few records, but the main thing I want to share is a new release that's coming out this Friday, Bandcamp Friday, through the auspices of Jerry King and Dave Newhouse. Dave Newhouse, formerly of the Muppins. This compilation called Zzaj, Jazz from the 23rd Century. This includes a track by me that, to try to give some background on this, if you remember, I can't remember what year this was. It's so hard for me to see the small writing. But several years ago, a compilation came out put together by an artist who went by Guerrilla Graphics. He had done some work for Dave Newhouse, which is how I became familiar with him. But he endeavored to put together this compilation called Frets of Yore, a collection of guitar art pieces for the immediate past. And on here, it was just an amazing array of musicians, everyone from members of the Muppins to myself, to people from Zzaj, I can't even say the name of the band, but really, Fred Frith, people, Henry Cow, that crew, you know what I'm saying? International crew of innovative artists. And I got a track on here. And the planned follow-up was there's going to be this thing called Funny Smells, and people like myself, we started to submit tracks, and then the guy who was behind the project, I forget his name, Fuentes or something, he just disappeared. He just disappeared. I never heard anything from him. I don't think anyone did. So anyway, Jerry King, who has a band called Cloud Over Jupiter, took it upon himself, I think it was last year, that he thought it was a good enough idea that he wanted to follow up, or he wanted to make it, he wanted it to happen. He said, we've gotten all these tracks, this illustrious group of people to participate again, and no leaders. So he took it upon himself. And I want to say, Jerry, that you've done a fantastic job on reorganizing and making this happen. It's a double CD, very interesting crowd of people. The original focus was, don't make a piece of jazz, but make a piece of music or sound that is based on your impression of jazz, which I thought was a nice premise. And so that's what I did. And I just got my copy. This comes out on Bandcamp Friday. Excuse me. Double CD. Cover artwork by Dave Newhouse. Really fits well. You know, Dave, you turned into a first-class visual artist. Ian Beabout did the graphics layout. Really good job. But I mean, everyone, I'm not everyone, but some of the people on here besides myself, Amy Denio, I've talked about her. She was in the Tone Dogs. with Matt Cameron from Soundgarden. She's done a lot of stuff. You know, that's a reference that maybe more people might know. Elliott Sharp, guitarist, East Coast, very interesting stuff. Hako from Japan. I was just showing you her album After Dinner. She's on here. I love the fact that her track is right after mine. This is, little stuff like this for me is very meaningful, and it's bucket listy. And this is more important and has more lasting value to me as a person than making me money off of the music. Just being involved in stuff like this means so much to me. It's very fulfilling. Besides my track, I'm also on Jerry and Michelle King's track. I'm on keyboards on that, so I'm on here twice. But Alfred Hearth, A23H, from Goebbels and Hearth. I've talked about them in the past where they put out one of my favorite. I'd have to pull it. But I'm just really blown away. Ron Anderson's on here. David Moss, Sean Persinger, Dave Newhouse, Anthony Coleman, Leandro Kalin, Paul Sears, Henry Kaiser, Forrest Fang, the Frank Chickens, Jeff Lay from Henry Cow is also on here. Martin Archer, Tom Gill, Steve Beresford has a track on here. I'm extremely honored and just chuffed to be a part of this. And this is very good. It's a wide variety of what you'll hear. And honestly, the way it goes, it starts with this person named Amanda Chorare, and it's like, this is okay, but it just gets better, okay? So it kind of like starts at a point where it's like, this is kind of okay. No offense, that's how the first track hits me, and I've listened to this a few times. But the second track zooms up right away for me regarding just what's going on. In the Amy Denio track going into the Elliott Sharp. This is really good. I highly recommend this. For Christmas, for just period, to have it. I don't know how many of these he had made. Really nice graphics. Oh, the other thing is the QC code or the QR code on the back. If you scan that, it'll take you to a page that gives you full, detailed notes about each track and the making of this of the CD and the making of the tracks. Real good job, Jerry. I'm sure, Jerry, you'll see this, but you other folks really happy about this new release. Very happy, very happy. As is the case with us vinyl junkies, if you go to the store, like on a record store day, it just primes you. So I did my best to just go to Homer's, but Grapefruit, they showed an update, particularly of the used stuff. It wasn't record store day that got me to go back down out to the stores Friday. Did I go Friday or did I wait? No, I went back out Friday to Grapefruit because they showed this, been after this album for years. Finally got a copy of Green Light Sunday, 1970, RCA label. Been after this album for years. This is one where I found it online years ago and burned myself a copy, particularly for the Laura Nyro songs. Their interpretations of Laura Nyro songs on here are excellent. Emmy, that's the one that got me. Woman's Blues is really strong too. And you know I'm not a blues person in general, but Laura Nyro was unique. If you know about her, she was like quite the songwriter, but also kind of enigmatic. Didn't want to play the star game like they tried to make her do. But I was so happy to see that this came in. So I went down I knew if I went down there, they'd get me. I knew if I went to, because there's always interesting stuff, more so at Grapefruit than any other store in Omaha for me. Grapefruit, Simon Joyner and Mike, they curate the store really, really well. I can easily spend way too much money every time I go there. So I did buy some more. And what did I get? I got, right quick, I want to tell you this. I turned some folks onto this already, the Stark Reality. This is a scorcher. What's so cool about this is that this was made for children's television or the children's TV workshop, but these guys are playing their asses off. And it's so cool that, yeah, this was music recorded for children's TV, the children's songs TV series. What's cool is I just love the entire premise of this because they don't play down to the children. They play their asses off for the kids. And they also include lyrics aimed at the kids and the whole idea of trying to, the Junkman song and Grandfather Clock. This is incredibly good musically. John Abercrombie in his early days, you hear him doing those licks that he actually kind of grew out of doing. But the kind of things he did in the early days of Dreams and stuff is on here. I love those licks, you know. They were more kind of grainy and rock than jazz. This is excellent. So glad I got this. And I understand now why it's been so valued over the years, because the playing is it's high quality. So the other things that I picked up, this was in the used at Grapefruit. Their used section is amazing. Stevie Moore on Earth. He is a kind of a crack genius. Someone who has never been able to break through to mainstream success. His dad played bass for Elvis, I understand. I've been following this guy since the 70s, but I only have a few things by him. And he's really good. He's prolific, and he's like, he can mimic styles. This is on an interesting vinyl configuration. But he can play almost any style of music, and he can play all the instruments. And it's amazing how good his songwriting is, how varied it is, and yet how obscure he still is. Our Stevie Moore does deserve to be like in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and he deserves to be known. He's really good. I got a few other things. I played some stuff, so it's like mixed up now. What else did I get? I got the R. Stevie Moore. This caught my attention in the used section down there. Islands in Space by Lightdreams. Now, just look at that cover. Yeah, this is the kind of cover that talks to me. The fact that it was used so the price was down was even better. This is a reissue of some kind of hippie trippy stuff that came out, I think, originally in 1981. And it's a mix, because it's like there's a lot of acoustic guitars and floating keyboards and kind of references to space and flower power and stuff like that. And it can seem a little bit over the top, except that for the most part it's really well played, and the music is good. So I'm glad I picked this up. I had never heard of this, Lightdreams, Island in Space. Grab this. I'd never owned this album. This is the first album by Chrome. This is a reissue. There's the original cover for the Visitation. I like Chrome a lot, and I opened for Chrome, Helios Creed's Chrome, a few years ago. This is their first album before Helios was in the band. Damon Edge started the band, and there's some of the elements of Chrome on here that I like, but they're not fully developed. And the vocals on here are really god-awful, actually. They're really terrible. But the you hear the beginnings of what made Chrome very interesting, because this was in the mid-70s. Punk hadn't hit yet, and music in the music industry was like really kind of bogged down. There was really no new direction. There was just people trying to make money, and so that came out of that time. And so it has touches on things like Faust and Noi, but also back to psychedelia, and then also scratchy rock like MC5 and Iggy Pop. So sonically it's pretty good, but the vocals are a real downer. But I'm glad I got it, and it was a reissue on silver vinyl. Like I said, I'm having fun with that. This was a music a Black Friday title that I didn't see at Homer's. Apparently they had it, but I didn't see it. They had it at Grapefruit, so I went ahead and got it. I told you I love Brazilian music. This is an album I did not know about. Novos, Baianos, Acabou, Chorare. On some lists, they list this as one of the best Brazilian albums ever. I was intrigued. I love Brazilian music. This is really good. I understand now the hype. It's not hype. This is very lively. It's like it's pictures. Yeah, I guess I was looking online to find out more about this, and it just has a real kind of family, real lived-in kind of vibe. I love it, and also another fun vinyl variation. I did this myself on my album Mercury, doing a split color. This is really good, very good. Oh, there it is. There's a booklet. I thought there was something. Yeah, there's a booklet where it shows, the folks with the kids and stuff, and just everybody's all crowded together, and the music sounds like this, very inviting, very alive. I'm so glad I picked this up. Novos Baianos. My wallet was screaming when I left Grapefruit, but so what? And I think I got one more. I did. This is not record store day, but it was there, and this is one of the Miles albums that I was missing. It's one of the is this a 1980s Miles album? I think so. I was missing this, 1986. You're Under Arrest. And this is one that gets poo-pooed a lot because of him doing the covers on here. Time After Time, and another one is on here. But this has some really good stuff on it. One phone call. This is about him being hassled when he had a Ferrari, that yellow Ferrari. It's nice. This is nice because it comes with a. This is a recreation of the Japanese issue of this album. So it comes like with that, like the Japanese records do. Comes with a fake obi. Not fake, but you know what I mean? This wasn't made in Japan, but they present it like it was made in Japan. Real nice with Miles' artwork in the middle. And when I bought this, I didn't even look. So when I opened it and saw that it's on clear vinyl, I said, "Yeah, bonus. That's fun." Miles Davis on clear vinyl. So those were the. I think that's it. Those were the other editions that I got on Black Friday. I have been a person like some who have not been happy about the way that everything ends up being just about money, and how the resurgence of vinyl, has just, there's a whole lot of marketing involved that has nothing to do with the love of music. Nothing I can do about that, but I don't like it. And so I've protested Record Store Day at times. But then I'm human and there'll be something there that I want, and so I went and got it. Turns out, and this is true, that one of my younger brother's friends, and Jerry, if you see this, you could come over here and get on the camera and tell people. One of the people who worked in distribution from the Omaha at RTI was one of the people who developed the idea of Record Store Day. He was literally one of the people who dreamed up the idea of Record Store Day, and he was able to tell me personally when we were hanging out after my brother's funeral and stuff last year, that he was so disappointed with what happened to Record Store Day almost immediately, because the idea was to try to help out independent record stores, and then it just became a naked money grab for everyone, like it is today. That's just the way the world is, isn't it? So, wow, 21 minutes. Super pumped about this being out. Zzaj. It'll be available on Friday through Bandcamp. I myself have been going through stuff, and I have some stuff. I have some stuff that I can present another new release for Bandcamp Friday. It'll be a mixture. There's a couple of new ambient pieces that I kind of forgot I had started, and then I went and finished them recently. And there's other stuff from my past. I've released so much stuff that some of it might have been out, but I've forgotten, because I do forget. But bottom line is, I'll just present it in a new configuration, because I know that a lot of you who watch me have never heard me. Very few of you have listened to my music. So this will be another chance for you to become familiar if you're interested, and also to show me support for my channel here on this upcoming Bandcamp Friday, okay? All right, take care, and as always, talk to me.